The Santa Clarita Planning Commission may be easing restrictions aimed to protect historic properties. And Santa Clarita combat vets travel to Washington, D.C. Hello, I'm Ryan Haslam with your SCV Newsbreak for Tuesday, September 27th. Well, we like to call this news you can use. AM 1220 KHTS Radio and SCVTV announced Tuesday they are combining resources to bring you this 5-minute local television newscast. We're calling this broadcast SCV Newsbreak. It can be seen Monday through Friday at the top of each hour starting at 6 p.m. on Time Warner Cable Channel 20 and AT&T U-verse Channel 99. Our ultra-local daily newscast is presented in an easy-to-watch format with headlines that are of interest to Santa Clarita residents. This newscast also will be available as a daily videocast online at scvnews.com and hometownstation.com. 8 years after it was conceptually approved, a 21,000-home mini-city west of I-5 in the Santa Clarita Valley is scheduled to take 2 giant leaps forward. On October 4th, the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors will consider the first phase of the Newhall Land and Farming Company's Newhall Ranch project. They'll review the second phase October 25th. Supervisors approved the project's guiding document called the Newhall Ranch Specific Plan in 2003. The first phase is Landmark Village, a community of more than 1,300 homes south of Highway 126 near Six Flags. The second phase is Mission Village, a 4,000-home community that will be located just to the west of Landmark Village. Well, a 12-year-old truant led deputies on a wild foot pursuit Tuesday morning near Vilna Avenue after deputies patrolling Soledad Canyon Road spotted a young man who appeared to be tucking something into his waistband that they thought might be a gun. The suspect ran away from the deputies and hid in the bushes for about an hour. He was then taken into custody without incident after being spotted on Shangri-La Drive. He was cited for truancy and, believe it or not, taken to juvenile hall because it turns out the 12-year-old was on probation. In city news, the Santa Clarita Planning Commission will consider lifting current rules that make it difficult for property owners to demolish buildings in Newhall considered historic. The rules were put in place 3 years ago when a historic house in Newhall was demolished under a renovation permit without the Commission's knowledge. The current rules require Planning Commission consent and a public hearing prior to the relocation or demolition of an historic or potentially historic building. The Commission will consider the changes next month. Well, it was a trip they may never forget. A group of combat veterans from Santa Clarita traveled to Washington, D.C. to see where the decisions to send troops to war are made. The trip included a meeting with Congressman Buck McKeon and a wreath-placing ceremony at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. Chairman of Back to the War Zone, Dick Jeffrey, says the group is organizing trips to foreign combat zones to help heal veterans with post-traumatic stress disorder.
The whole idea is to bring them face to face with some of the things that happened over there, clear up the fog of war, which is just tormenting. You know, at first you don't want to remember what happened, and then you can't remember what happened, and it makes it very, very tough on them throughout the years.
To find out more about upcoming trips, visit backtothewarzone.org. Well, taking a look outside, it was clear today, but boy was it hot. The high today in Santa Clarita was just shy of triple digits, topping out at 99 degrees. We're expecting more hot temperatures for the rest of the week, but thankfully things are expected to cool off for the weekend. All right, now off to sports. Dave Caldwell, one of the greatest values we bring here to SCV TV. Let us know what's going on in the sports world today.
You are way too kind for that. And let's talk about the latest CIF polls that have come out ranking high school sports. And there are some surprises. First off in football, where the Canyon Cowboys have moved up a spot to number 2, thanks primarily to a 3-0 record and outscoring opponents 150-49, but also because Oaks Christian knocked St. Bonnie out of the top spot. Hart and Valencia swapped the 8 and 9 spots. Big news for West Ranch High School. For the second time in school history, the girls' tennis team has reached number 1 in their division. Last year, the team claimed the top spot in the final poll of the season. Valencia moves into the top 8 to number 4. In boys cross country, Golden Valley remains number 1 for the second week in a row. But the big news is Saugus, not even ranked a week ago, hurdling all the way to number 3 and skipping over Hart in the process. On the girls' side of cross country, Saugus stays at number 2 behind Simi Valley, but the division took a shaking behind those top 2 teams. And in girls volleyball, Saugus moves up a spot to number 8, while Valencia and the rest of the top 5 stay put. And Ryan, a real interesting fact, of the 5 sports that are played in the fall, Saugus is ranked in the top 10 of 4 of those 5 sports. So pretty cool for Saugus.
Yeah, go Centurions.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, Dave. All right, deputies were busy Tuesday afternoon responding to a call of someone shaking doorknobs or possibly breaking into homes in Valencia. Turns out the man actually had a friend in the neighborhood, but it also turns out he had a $50,000 warrant for spousal abuse. Around 1 p.m., deputies stopped the man at the corner of Esteban and Sandalia Drives in Valencia. They checked his story and his background. When they found the outstanding warrant, he was booked at the Santa Clarita Valley Station. Well, for more Santa Clarita news, log on to hometownstation.com or scvnews.com. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ryan Haslam.